Welcome to Ain't Scared Garage. We're going to finish them brakes up today. We're going to get to the hydraulics and show you just how all that works. Stand by. Well, it's a little cooler today. A little cooler. Still got the tent up because it's low 80s, which is beats the heck out of upper 90s like it was last week. That beat the heck out of me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run over the hydraulics. And what I'm going to do, I'll show you, I'm not actually going to be working on the master cylinder or the front brakes, but I'm going to show you and tell you, talk about it, exactly how it all works. We will be working on the brakes on the back side, and we'll be bleeding the brakes. I'll show you how to bleed the brakes. There's a couple different ways to do it. I'll tell you about the one. I'm just going to do it with a self-bleeder because I pretty much work by myself. So let's get to it. I'm going to have to get underneath it here to take care of things. I got a light under so hopefully you can see. It feels a whole lot nicer out here at 80 couple degrees and with the tent up in the shade. I fixed the pole because it broke the other day, but I welded it up. I was in there earlier and sprayed everything with peanut butter blaster so that everything could go. This hose here was attached here and I was like, what the heck is that? I don't know why I didn't remember what it is. This is actually the vent for the axle, and the hose goes over top of it. And we're going to replace this hose. When I went to pull it off, it just broke because it's dry rotted. But it's just the vent, it's no big deal. But that's one of the reasons I'm replacing this line, is because when they get old, well, they get kind of dry rotted. The other thing that happens is when they get old, they swell up inside. And then when you push on the brake pedal, you got a lot of hydraulic pressure that gives a push on it, but then the spring tension is not enough to pull it back, and you wind up locking up brakes. So we want to make sure that doesn't happen well. There. Get rid of that, and this will go back on there, and it'll be fine. I'm going to cut it off square. Okay. Now I want to bust these two loose here. Before I even fool with anything else, I want to make sure those come loose. Actually, I'm not even going to fool with those. I'm not going to take them loose. You know why? Because I'm going to replace this line and this line. I'm replacing both of them. It brings us to this here. There's a fitting, just like those two. There's a fitting that goes into the end of this line. Now I have to get that off of there. It's a tough place to get that camera into, so get my crowfoot line wrenches here. Should be 3/8. It's like everything else, yeah. And get that on there nice and tight. That came loose easily. Wow, I am a lucky man. Here's what we got. This hose here has a little clip there that we have to pull off. That hose has this cable to it, okay? Go over here, and all we do is unplug it from there, and another one right over here. Plug it from there and get that out of the way. We're going to hook that onto the other one. And it comes all the way down into here, and it goes over top of the vent for the axle. Then we got this line right here that runs over here. This is the one I told you before I didn't like, that we're going to replace completely and goes into there. And then this one here is okay, but it's old and rusty, and I just want to replace it. So I'm going to replace that one. It's going to get a new one. Looks like it might have been replaced, but no, there's a lot of rust on it here. I'm going to replace that. Not sure about this, but we're going to see what we can do here. This clip just needs to come off of there completely. It's old and rusty, it sure is. I might cut it off. Well, there it goes. Yeah, it's coming right out. Yep. It comes with a new one. there. There goes the clip and then the hose. Actually, the hose goes up that way. Yep. All right, so now I got to take it off over here. I'm thinking 5/8, 9/16. That's the damn foreign stuff. Nah, metric, I know, whatever. 9/16. Okay. Well, let's see how good we get here. Let's see if we're lucky or not. So far, so good. Seems pretty tight. Yes, it does. At 5/8. Put that down on the wrench. Like that. Try it again. Okay, it's moving. That's good. That's what I want. Okay, so I gotta hold that.
So as it turns out, I got to take these lines off after all, because I have to get a wrench that'll fit over the whole housing unit there, so that it doesn't turn when I turn the bolt that goes through it to get it out, because it's frozen in there. So I got to get these out so I can get a wrench over top of it. I'm hoping that's going to work out. We'll see.
Like 13/16. Now, 16's gonna go right there. Yep. And I know that comes apart there. No question about it. I mean, it just doesn't spin like that. That's not how this works. All right, so I got a breaker bar at 9/16 with a 6 point on it. So it shouldn't round it off. I'm gonna lag right at Amazon because this is how they shipped this to me. In this box, it wasn't in another box, which is fine, I like saving, but it had this little piece of tape on it over everything. Tells me it was open before. So here it is. And that's it. There should be 2 brass washers for here and here. So I'm gonna have to reuse the ones that are on here. That's what I thought. Sometimes you just want to look at your part. Okay, that should come right out. Yep. Yeah. So let's get back at it. That is really stuck in there. Yeah, it is. Back this out a little bit there. This goes, let's get the junk out of the way here. This goes straight through. Now what I might have to do is just cut this line off completely and then take the whole thing off and then work on getting that out. I think that's what's going to happen here. Yeah, I do, because this won't come through this way. It's got another kind of clip or something on it up there. So basically, I'm here to show you the hard way to do things. Eventually, I get to doing it the easy way, but I always start with the hard way for some reason. I don't know why. All right. That'll be enough out of you. This cutter is really in good shape. Yeah, it is. Yeah, still got to cut it off, I really do. There. In order to get it off of the truck so I can work on getting the pieces off it that I need. I'd like not to cut that other wire since that powers my light. They're nice sharp tools. Not. Almost. Almost. Come on, you. There we go. Now we get that off. And then this will come right out of here. Like that. Let's see what one be. Now, let's see what we got on this end. Yeah, let's get the peanut butter blaster on this side of it. What I might have to do, which won't be a big deal, take the cutoff wheel and just split this. Then I should be able to get it out of there. Remember, if you don't need a part, it's okay to destroy it, to take it apart, as long as you're saving another part, which is what we're going to do here. We're going to destroy this. We've got to save this. All right, let's see what I can do now. Grab this here. Let's see. Maybe I've loosened it up enough that I can do this. I don't want to destroy the parts that I need. Wants to come. There we go. Pull it out of there like that. I'm from the parts store. I don't see any brass washers, but this is made of brass. This is not. I'm really going to need brass washers. It's aggravating. Clean this sucker up. All right. Theoretically, that should go through there. Just like that, nice and smooth. Yep. That way when I put the washer on there, it'll seal up good. Take this with me to the store. I like to once do a job, not have to go to the parts store. Never mind. My concern about the brass washers. Not needed. If you look in here, see, this doesn't come through. All right. All it is, that just holds it on to there. That's all it does. There's no fluid comes through there. The fluid comes in this line and goes right in here and just distributed from them. So I'm okay. And next thing is, I gotta get this off here. Let's see here. I'm gonna grab this here. Grab this here. Going around, so my guess is I could probably get it off of there. I can get the screwdriver right in there. Just like that. And a little bit of finagling. We got a clip. You'd think it would come with the clip, but that was probably also stolen out of the thing. Oh, now we got the clip. This clip's going to go on here after we put it up in. That goes straight up there. This goes on. All right, we're actually ready to put this together. However, I'm not going to put it together without anti-seize. That's for dang sure. Anti-seize on there like that. Should be fine. Just gonna run it all up in there. All right, just like that. Oh, I'll put it all the way around it. Yep. I don't care if I do get all my fingers, and the fingers are. Stuff doesn't like to come off fingers, by the way. All right, let's see. Pardon me, I'm gonna put this one on. Let's see, this is gonna go on like this. I know it goes like this, so. Now, everything's in my way. There. All right, it's right into there. Where it came out of, dang it. Definitely cross-threaded. I think that's got it. That's got it. There we go. All right, that's installed in that side. And this end just goes up in here. But it doesn't really want to go in. I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna have to do something here. For some reason it doesn't fit. That would probably be rust. Wait a minute. Seems to be shaped a certain way. Yeah, it is. Okay. I don't know if you can see the shape, but let's see. This is the sharp corner, the sharp, 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 and smooth. Wait a minute. Smooth right here. This is smooth. Sharp, 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 sharp. So it's that 5 points and not 6. That 6 point goes right in here, I believe. Round. Look at that. I guess if you put it in right, it goes right in. You just got the trick about having to put it in right. All right, now this clip goes on the other side there. These clips are really hard to get on. Let me try something different. Got channel locks here. Big old pair. Let's just spread them out a little bit. Right about, I want you there. Move that in like that. I don't think it's all the way in, but it's in a good ways. I think it's probably far enough. Clips on the other side. Yep. I ain't going nowhere. All right. And this line here goes there like that. That part of that install is done. Oh my God, here comes that damn ice cream man again. Oy vey. Just keep moving, you. Yeah, I know, I'm losing my chubby guy card, but whatever. Alright, now, I don't like this one at all. It's clipped on up there in a thing, in a butt weld, not a butt weld, damn it, a union. All right, hold on. This, like I said, this is the vent for the axle. And this tube only goes up to over top of the rail, over top of the frame, and it just lays there. And this goes on here, just like that. We don't get dirt up in the axle because this goes up high enough so it doesn't pick it up. And that's all that is.
I am getting too old for this crap.
Then it's clipped in here. It's another clip. I'm just gonna slide it out of there. Might take 2 hands. There, like that. I'll come over here. Another clip right here. One right here. Bend it out a little bit. There. And then I should be able to just get that out of there. There. Now I got that line out. This one here Hasn't really hooked anything. I'm gonna fool with that one in a minute. We're gonna make this other one up first. Okay, I got this whole line out. It goes this way actually. From underneath the truck. Okay, it's got a patch here, which is done right, but it's still patched to me. I don't know if it's done by Ford that way or not. There's a patch here. I really don't think Ford did that, but maybe they did. I doubt it, this close to this. We're gonna make this in one piece. Grab this here. It's already bent a little bit. Right about there. Straighten this out as much as you can. Here, here, here. A little dog leg for some reason here. Then we dog leg into there. I'm gonna start on the other end. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this end here first. I'm gonna see if I can get the spring off of here and put it back on here. I don't know what it's for. One of my other people that I watch asked the same question I'm about to ask. If you know what the spring's for, please put it in the comments down below. Let me know. When I checked the video, the part about me doing the flaring was absolutely horrible. So I'm reshooting it now and I'm gonna put this in. So I want you to see how it works. So basically, this is your flaring toolkit. This is a 13 wrench, which you're gonna need, at least with this kit. And this is a brace that you put the line in. I'm not sure what it's called. I'm gonna call this an arbor. I might be wrong about that too. And these here are the dies, and I think that's right. And this is the one I need right here. The other thing you're gonna need is this cutting tool. Now, if you notice on this cutting tool here, it has a pair of rollers in here. So you're gonna lay your line right in the rollers like that. And then you can tighten this up. Seen me do this before, but I just want to do a whole thing on it. Tighten that up like that there. All right, now I'm gonna have to hold this because it is so short. I'm just gonna hold it with this here. Now, I'm gonna turn this around like this here. Now, eventually, it's gonna get really loose, okay? And then you see how it just falls? There. So when it loosens up, you tighten that down just a little bit. Don't have to be the Incredible Hulk, just give it a little tighten down. And then just keep doing that, and then tighten it up again. And eventually, it'll pop it right off like that. So I got a nice flat thing to work with there, but I need to just clean it out a little bit. I'm just gonna take a knife here, and I'm not really pushing on it hard, just want to get any burrs out of there like that. And clean that out so it's all nice and cleaned out. It needs to be flat. A little sandpaper wouldn't hurt. You know, just to make sure it's all nice and clean there. Like that there. So we don't have any burrs or anything, and doesn't feel great there. There we go, now it's nice and clean. The next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take your line. Your line's gonna go in here. Now what I've seen some people do is you could put your line in here like this and put it way on down and tighten it down, and then take a file to it to make it nice and flat. If you used one of these tools right here, you won't have to do that because that puts you a square cut on there. So we're gonna put it in this way so that it's up in through the middle. This is 3/16, and that's marked 3/16. I'm just gonna put it in there. I'm gonna tighten this down, just finger tight right now. It's like that because we have to set the depth. If you don't set the depth on this, then you won't get a good flare. What will happen is the flare will either just won't work out, or what's worse, if it's sticking out too far, when you go to flare it, you're just going to get a, you're going to actually split the line. I did that early on when I was first working on these. All right, so this is the one I need. It's going to go right in here, just like that. And make sure it'll go in. First thing I have to do, though, is we have to make sure we get this measured off. The way you do that is we use this right here. This lip here is the measurement that we want to use to get the right depth. So it would actually be on this side here. So what I'm going to do is push this down some. There. And then we're going to put this here. And we want it to push down just enough to there. So that you're resting right on there. Because you want that to be resting right on there. Now you see how that is? That is the right depth. So now I can tighten that down. That's where this 13 comes in. You want to keep this in as flat as you can. And you tighten it down just like that. Now, all right, we're going to double check this one more time. So I'm going to put this right on there. I'm going to make sure that that height is exactly that, which it is. It's perfect. Now the first flare we do is we're going to put this in this side right here, just like that. I'm going to pull this back. So that I can get it to go over there like that. Not quite yet. Just like that. All right, once I have that over there, I'll bring it all the way up. Yep, there. I'm gonna drop it right in that little hole there. You see how it's got a little hole there? The tip of that arbor is gonna go right in the middle there, and I'm just gonna tighten it down. I'm trying to keep this thing in focus as much as I can until the bottom meets. I'm just gonna move it, tighten it, move it, because this is how I know that I get a nice tight fit here, is by moving that. Okay, that's in there good and tight. And that's what we got right there. So now, I'm gonna tighten that down. I'll take my 13 again here. And we're just gonna, might take me a little longer because the way I'm doing this, I'm gonna tighten that down all the way until the die meets that holder. And then when the die meets that holder, I'm gonna take it back out. Just like that. Get rid of the arbor, and then we're gonna pull that die out. Sometimes they get a little stuck. And you just gotta take just a little something like that there and just get it out. Now that's the hole we got there. What that did was it bent it over inside. Now what I should have done, one thing I didn't say, is I should have put some brake fluid on there. And I didn't do it. I'm gonna do it right now. All right, so I just put a little brake fluid on there. And what the brake fluid does is it just lubricates it. You don't really want to use like an oil or something, because some of the oils and solvents can react with the brake fluid. You don't want that happening on your brakes once you get everything together. All right, once we get that one squared away, just like I did the same way again, now I'm going to tighten down on that, We've got the inner one. We spread it to the inside with the dye. Now we're going to use the arbor to actually give it a flare that will fit on the thing. Now this is a little tricky. Basically just come down, don't be Incredible Hulk again, just come down until it pretty much stops. See, that pretty much stopped right there. And I'm not going to crank down on it, I'm going to now take it off. Pull this arbor off. All right. And there's your flare. Let me take it out of there. To take it out of there, you know, it's just, I'm just going to loosen these two up. There, there, and there. Take that out. Take that out so we can get to it. All right. And there's your flare. Okay, this right there. That's a pretty decent flare. It's a little off kilter. I think if I'd have put some lube on it with the brake fluid, it wouldn't be. But that's usable flare. Now, one thing. I can't put this on anything. Why? Because that's not on there. Make sure that you put this on before you flare it so that you have something that can tighten down on it, because without that being on there, you're going to have a fit. And I can tell you right now, you're going to flare a line more than once and not have a fitting on it. Trust me, I've done it. You'll be in there and working that flare, and you'll be getting everything be just right. You'll get the flare done, you'll be like, oh wow, look at that, that's a great flare. You'll be like, damn it, there's no fitting on it. Luckily, all I was doing was showing you how to use the flare tool. Make sure you put the fitting on before you flare it. I hope this turned out better. I'm gonna put that in the video, and we'll see how that goes. Next day. It's a little warmer today than it was yesterday, so still got the tent up. It's 1,000 degrees cooler under the tent, thank God. So, yesterday I ran out of batteries in the microphone and the cameras and everything. So, and it was hot, and I'd done about all I could do. So we're gonna pick up today. I left off here. So I made this line, I'm gonna put it in. I just put it on this side here. That's the wrong size. Boy, I bet you I don't have the right side there. I need the thing 3/8. All right, I'm tightening this one up. How on you, get on there. That's good and tight. Give it a slight bend up because I just don't want touching anything here, even though it's going to on the way back. This one I will replace when I do the front brakes. When I do the front brakes, I'm gonna replace all the hoses, all the lines on the front, just like I did here. Now from here, and this is in front of the truck, all the way back, there's brand new lines, there's no unions, there's no pressure fittings. This is gonna go along here. Now, I don't know how much of this you could actually see. I know the camera's going upside down and right side up and everything like that, but when you're underneath, it's kind of tough to just see it. So here's the brake line, and it's run along here, and it goes all the way back to the back. I'm gonna bring this down like this. See if we keep it up in the frame. A little bending like that. I'm gonna cut it right here. All right, let me make sure I got the right fitting. Now, the reason I'm flaring it under the truck is because I figured it'd be easier to push this line all the way up from the front without these things here winding up going with them. Yeah, I'll make sure I get the right size nut on here, because I sure as heck don't want to have to do this a second time. All right, we now have a new line all the way from the front, all the way to the back, down through this hose to the distribution block on the rear, and out to both sides, and new hydraulic wheel cylinders. So the basic operation is you start right here. This is the master cylinder right here, and this fills up with brake fluid. Right, when you punch your foot on the pedal, it pushes a rod in here that pressurizes these two lines right here. One goes to the front brakes, one goes to the back brakes. Those go down to a proportioning valve down there, and at the proportioning valve, then that sends brake fluid to the front brakes and the rear brakes in the right amount. I'll be doing the front brakes, and I'll show you the whole thing when I do the front brakes. I'll replace all those lines on the front brake just like I did on the rear. But for now, once you get to the proportioning valve here, you see I got a brand new line on here. This line goes all the way to the back, hooks up to the brake hose. All right, that hose, let me back up. So those lines go to the proportioning valve. The proportioning valve sends out the fluid to both the front brakes, which what it hits there is a pair of flexible rubber lines, just like the one I put on the back, because your front suspension moves separately. So therefore, you have to have a separate flexible line on each one of them, so that when they move, it doesn't cause a problem for the brakes. It doesn't wear anything out. Now, you have the same kind of line on the back. The difference is, though, on the back, you have an axle. Let's just use this piece here. Let's say this is your axle here and your wheels here and here. Well, the axle moves like this. So these brakes don't actually move. So there's a metal line from the brakes out to the proportioning valve on the back, and out to the proportioning valve on the back. And there's one flexible line that feeds the two of them. So this can move all at once, up and down and around, and that flexible line will move with it, the rubber line. So it only needs one on the back, because the wheels don't move the way that the front wheels move. And then from there, it's going to go to the wheel cylinders. On the front, it's going to go to the brake calipers, and I'll show you those when I do the front brakes. The calipers actually squeeze onto a rotor to cause friction to stop, but they squeeze by having a piston pushing out, just like on the back where you have the little cylinder and the two pistons, and they push out on the brake shoes to cause friction against the drum. It's exactly the same but completely different. That's the same from my buddy Al. So Al, there you go. I give you credit where credit belongs. Next thing we got to do is bleed this thing. What I want to do is I want to get all the fluid out of here, because I want new fluid in it. Let's see if I can get this thing off of here. I know, don't have a line wrench. Yep. Alright. That one came loose. I'm going to get the line wrench for that, smaller one. That's 7/16. I'm gonna parse store and see how much one of these is. I'd kind of like to replace as long as I'm down this far. I figured I hated to look at all this rust down here. I figured what the heck, we're gonna paint that while I have the master cylinder off. And yeah, this is the rusty primer paint. It converts primer and rust into paintable surface. I sanded the rust first. Well, it ran more than Forrest Gump. You know. Let's see if I can get some of them runs out of there. There's a little 320 here. This prep spray, you've seen me use it before. Like I said, you gotta be careful with it because it will melt the paint. And then you'll have a bad surface to work with. Engine enamel, black. I hope. Looks black. Let that dry up a minute and we'll hit it with another coat and then we'll be ready to put that on. Meanwhile, there's the new master cylinder. Yeah, I gotta pull something off of here. I gotta pull this off. Bigger than I thought it was. 7/8, yep. Alright, so I need that off of there. Do it this way. Like that. Go. Okay, that comes off of there. Now the O-ring there, see? And we'll take it off because I got a new one here. I'm not sure what this is for, but we'll do anything else. Clean it all off. Turn this over here. Pop this out. And since that is a rubber ring, I want some kind of lube on it, and I want to use brake fluid. So we put a brake fluid there, there. Yep. And we pop that bad boy right in there, just like that. Tighten that down good. Well, I got this kit for bleeding. Find the right ones. Finger tight that in there. I got 2 hoses. Pop it right there. That one right there. Bad boys are going to go down in here. Now, this doesn't work quite as well as the others. As the old fashion stockers, I can't really get them down in there, but I can get them down far enough. The idea is you want the fluid to flow back in so you don't run out. All right, they're down in there now. Now what I'm going to do is I want to hold those down there because what they're going to do is they're going to pump out. And I'm going to pump it until, I don't know if you can see it or not, until I don't see more bubbles. This ain't really easy, no. Hopefully that's good enough. I'm hoping that'll do it. Now what we're going to do is put anti-seize in here. Especially up in here where it's going to meet the, where this is going to be inside of the housing. That was my problem. I couldn't get that loose. Dang it, didn't want to get that on the back side of there. You don't obviously have to do all of this that I'm doing. But when I'm done, I want my entire brake system rebuilt. I should theoretically never have to worry with the brakes. Other than, replacing shoes and pads, because they wear out. Okay, that's good. Now make sure you plug this in. This here is your sensor for the brake fluid. Plug that right back in there. There's a float right here that goes up and down, and that's what tells it that it has fluid, it doesn't have fluid. Now this is overfull, but that's all right. I'm not tightening this. Go tighten down more, like that. But I'm leaving it loose because I'm gonna be bleeding the system. Before I go any further, I'm gonna crack these lines open because that'll allow some of that fluid to drain through the hoses through the lines, that is, so that we don't have as much to do. And they're metric. $10mm. That's what they are. I gotta go get my 10. I actually do know where it is, but if you want to know where it is, always get one of these. There's a link down in the description to my store, and you can get all the merch there. It's awesome. So if you have somebody help you, like Paul, who's, he's not around. You can put somebody in the vehicle, truck, car, it doesn't matter. In this case, it's a truck. And let me give you this. You'll get some people, and they think they know how to work the brake when you're bleeding the brakes. And you open the thing up and you say, now, press it down, and they start pumping like a madman, like Junior would do, or he did it to me one time. Okay, don't do that. That doesn't work. It works, but you close the thing up, and then you pump it like a madman, and what happens is you add air into the system by being so crazy with it. You come back here, you open them, you start with the furthest one from the master cylinder, which will be on the other side, and that's where we're going to start. You will open the bleeder, and they say down. Person in the truck is supposed to gently push the pedal, it'll go all the way to the floor, and they'll say down. Close it, say up. They let it up, open the valve, down, gently to the floor. That's the best way to bleed it. It's the quickest way to bleed it. You don't introduce more air into the system, and you'll get the whole thing done a whole lot faster. All right, it's like the next week. I finally got this thing bled out. I had one that was a little loose. These brakes are tight, man. I like it. One of the things you can do if you left them a little loose, back up a few times and hit the brakes. And what that does is it clicks that adjuster that I was showing you, and the adjuster will adjust your brakes, and it'll bring it up. You got to bring them close anyway before you do it, because if you don't do it that way, then what happens is your what happens is it's too far to get to make it adjust, too far to go. So make sure that you do that and get them a little adjusted like I showed you. I did just back up a couple times and adjust them out. Shirt, down in the description you can get these, old Strappy, and all the other ones, the standby shirt, 10mm, don't forget that one. And I appreciate it if you like this stuff, you really enjoyed it, it's definitely a help for me. Sorry about the bouncy list there on this last video, but it is what it is. This thing's got 250 springs. The other thing is you might want to see the rest of the brake job, what we did before, where the actual putting the brakes and stuff like that one. This was all about the hydraulic. But if you check right here, you can click on that one, and that'll take you to the brake job. And this might be one you like too, I don't know. See y'all.